the Shibboleth Alah'U'bad, and Alah'U'bad, and the saying, Allah Akbars, friends, Elon is in the Bible. And also about the killings at the border crossings with the countries and the land crossings bordering the lands of Iy'Izreal. And also the killings at the land crossings between the land of Egypt and Jordan, and also Gilead. Much like the killings that are happening to the modern-day Palestinians in Gaza, by the Jewish people that are now calling themselves modern Israel. Judges chapter 12 verse 5 to 15. But when the Arabs who were living in the land of the Israelites wanted to pass through the sea passages and also across the land crossings, and also across the land crossings which were between the two land masses, and which was between Gilead, and which was through the Red Sea crossings, and which was once called Gilead, and which was also before times the land which belongings to the Ephraimites, before Iy'Izreal, took their land. And then they began to man the crossings. And so it was, that every time that the Arabs them wanted to cross over to and from Egypt, and to and from the land of Jordan, and also to do business and also to escape from the persecution of the people of Iy'Izreal, and also from the abuse of the people of Iy'Izreal, and also to avoid any subjugation by the people of Iy'Izreal who were manning the Arabic crossings and the sea passageway of the Arabic people them, and the checkpoint that were in the land of Gilead, which today is called Saudi Arabia, that they would prevent them, and so it was that they said to them, Are you a Muslim? And are you Arabic? Or are you of the Israelites? Or are you of the Ephraimites? And if they said, No, then they would say to them, Say the Shibboleth, Alah'U'bad, and Alah'U'bad, saying. But they wouldn't say the Shibboleth correctly but said, Alah'U'bad instead. Then they knew that they were indeed Arabic, and that they were lying. And that they weren't from the people of Iy'Izreal but that they were indeed Arabic, and that they weren't from the descendants of the Ephraimites nor the Israelites, and neither were they from the people of Iy'Izreal. And because they misquoted the Shibboleth, Alah'U'bad, and Alah'U'bad, then they would kill them. For lying to them, because they knew that they weren't from the people of Iy'Izreal, nor of Iy's people, but that they were indeed Arabic, and that they weren't neither from the Ephraimites nor the Israelites, because the Arabs them wouldn't allow themselves to say the Alah'U'bad and the Alah'U'bad Shibboleth correctly, and because of this the people of Elu knew that the Arabs them wouldn't say the Alah'U'bad Shibboleth correctly neither. And that they wouldn't be in the frame of mind to profane their God, Allah. And also they wouldn't bring themselves to profane their Arabic tongue to pronounce the Shibboleth as Alah'U'bad and Alah'U'bad incorrectly. So they would capture them and take them, and kill them at that checkpoint, and also in the passage of the Red Sea, and also at that crossing which was from the land of Egypt and also which was going into Jordan. And also at the other crossings which was at the other checkpoint which was built before the crossover to the Red Sea. And also the other crossings which had checkpoints that was coming out and going into the land of Jordan, because they suspected that there were Arabs escapees who were crossing over them illegally, instead of the Ephraimites. And who were coming out of the land of the Israelites, which today is called the land of Saudi Arabia. And if they said, Yes, we are not Arabic, but Ephraimites, then they'd let them in. But if they were Ephraimites, and not Arabic, and if they said let me go over to Jordan then they would not capture them but they would let them go. So they did capture many Arabs there, and there fell at the hands of Iy'Izreal, at that time 42,000 Arabs there. And then after that Jephthah the Israelite judged the nation of Iy'Izreal 6 years. Then after that when Jephthah, the Israelite was dead, and he was buried in one of the cities of Gilead. Then after him Iy Iys of Iys Bethlehem judged the people of Iy'Izreal. And he had 30 sons, and 30 daughters, whom he sent abroad, and they took to themselves 30 daughters from abroad for his sons to be their wives. And he judged Iy'Izreal 7 years. So when Iy Iys died, he was buried at Iys Bethlehem. And after him Elon, a Zebulonite, judged the people of Iy'Izreal. And Elon judged Iy'Izreal 10 years. And Elon the Zebulonite died, and was buried in Aijalon in the country of Zebulun. And after him, Abdon the son of Hillel, a Pirathonite, judged Iy'Izreal. And he had 40 sons and 30 nephews, that rode on 70 ass colts, and he judged Iy'Izreal 8 years. And Abdon the son of Hillel the Pirathonite died, and was buried in Epirathon in the land of Ephraim, in the mount of the Amalekites. Friends, and what is happening to the Palestinians in the land of Palestine is genocidal. Because the Arabic Palestinians were living there first. Friend, the land of Israel today is not the promised land that was given to Jacob, whose name was once called Jacob before it was changed to Iy'Izreal by Elu'hymn. The promised land that was given to the children of Iy'Izreal included the entire land of Africa, which was before times called Ethiopia, and which was given to Caleb when the 11 other tribes lied because they did not want to get up and go and possess the promised land that Elu had promised to Abraham and Jacob and Eys. But friends, later on the land of Palestine was given to the Jews or to the Jewish people by the League of Nations to establish a Jewish state, and also for a national home and for a Jewish nation by the League of Nations, and which has long since been engulfed or enveloped by the United Nations, and by the Rothschilds, who has taken from the lands of Palestine, and from the Palestinians or from the Arabic Palestinians' lands, and which was now being given to the Jewish people to make for them a permanent home, and also to provide for the Jewish people them a home state, and also a Jewish nation. So, you see, the land of Palestine was given to Israel, but not by Elu'hymn, whom is the sovereign of heaven, but by the League of Nations, and the land was taken away from the Palestinians Arabs and given to the Jews by the Rothschilds. And it was so when Lord Rothschilds himself brokered the deal with England and France and with the other nations with the Balfour Declaration. Friend, for more information about the Balfour Declaration, and the Balfour Letter, and how the Rothschilds created Israel and also how the nation of Israel was formed, please check out the links below. 1. How the Rothschilds created Israel. And also about the Balfour Declaration and the Balfour Letter, please see the links below. Thank you. Friends, if you are sympathetic to the Palestinians' plight, and also to how the world at large is protesting the mistreatment of the Arabs, and also the Muslims, and also the Palestinians, and also how the Jesuits and also how the Jews, and also all the Arabic detractors have been mistreating and subjugating the Palestinian people, and also how the Israelis are killing the Palestinians Arabs by the tens of thousands, and how they have been forced out of the land of Gaza and also out of the city of Rafah, then friends, you are siding for human rights and also humane justice and equal rights and human longevity. And friend, you would be on the right side of history. Because the killing of tens of thousands of people just for their land is simply egregious. And it appears to be genocide to me. Friends, and if it appears that I'm against Israel and Israeli interests, is that I'm simply pointing out the facts. And the facts are that two wrongs doesn't make it right. Because people have a right to live in peace and attain a good life and freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. And also to worship. Sadly, many have chosen to worship God instead of Elu, whom is the sovereign one of Abraham and also whose name is called Elu'hymn and Iy Christ, and also the Almighty, and whom is called the sovereign King of heaven, and also the Lord of all the heavens and the earth. So why are there so many people who have chosen to be called the children of God or a child of God, rather than to be called Iys? And also why not choose to embrace Iy and become Iys and also the chosen people of Elu, whose name is named Holy Iy, and the Almighty Iy, and whom is called Iy'Izreal, and also the Holy One, and whose name is called Iy Christ and also the Holy Prophet Elu'hymn. But they have chosen to follow after their gods, and also how many people have chosen to follow the path of the many latries, which is false worship, starting with anthropolatry, which is the worship of man as a god, and idolatry and theolatry and topolatry and orobolatry and jesuolatry. And also the laudolatry of Yeshua and Jesus, whom they believe is the Christ, and Iy Christ. And also how many people have unknowingly taken the path of the oath of abjuration against Elu, which is the wrong path that is leading them away from Iy, whom is Elu, and also the Christ, and Iy Christ, and also whom Iys the Holy One whom Iys called Iy'Izreal, and also because of this oath of abjuration against Iy. Many have chosen the rejection of Iy, whom Iys the Sovereign One of heaven. And because of this many are embracing God, whom is the destroyer and the devil and the deceiver, and this is why there's so much fighting and killing and strife and disasters and crises and catastrophes, that are happening one after another. Because Satan is now loose. And Satan is God. And God as Satan is seated as the head of all the nations that are a part of the UN, and also the United States and also those countries that are in the United Nations Assembly. And also all the countries that are a part of the EU Parliament, and also the European Union, and also those that are a part of the African Union. And this is why there are so much people suffering and why there are so many killings and fighting that are everywhere in Iy's world today. Because they all are being headed up by Shaitan and they are being misled by Satan. But very soon it all would soon come to an end. Because Iy Iys, the sovereign King of heaven. And Iy Iys coming back to establish Iy's holy kingdom in Iy's earth. And then old God Elu'hymn whom is also called God and also the Lord God, and also Satan would come to his end. Hallelujah. Iy Iys coming, praise Iy the Odd. Friends, our only hope is in Iy's salvation and also Iy's redemption plan. Because Satan time is coming to an end. Because any day now Iy'Izreal would be coming to establish Iy's holy kingdom in Iy's world. And also to vanquish old God Elu'hymn whom is called God and Shaitan and Baal God. And Iblis and Shaitan and also the devil. Friends, let us beginning to hallelujah, and also to acknowledge Iy, as the sovereign King of all the heavens and the earth. Before it's too late. Thank you. And may Iy open up every eye to what is going on in Iy's world. So that we all may accept Iy as the Christ before it's too late. Thank you. To be continued. The end.